Okay, welcome back to the channel, Echo Delta Biker. It's been a while, and the more discerning among you will know and appreciate that I'm on a different bike, hence the reason for this video. Like I said, I'm no professional bike reviewer, so I don't get bikes out on a monthly, weekly basis. Bikes I do get out at the moment are my own, so I'm going to review my new bike, which is the Triumph Tiger Sport 660, the 2025 version. One of my last videos, or my last bike review video, was on my Honda Hornet, brand new Honda Hornet that I bought back in June really. Which is an awesome bike, and if you've watched that video you'll hear me singing its praises, because it is an amazing bike and it's worth me singing the praises of. Even though it was, you know, the 500 version, I absolutely loved it. It was such an agile little bike, very, very fuel efficient, and just great fun, absolutely great fun. And truth be told, if I had the finances to be able to keep that bike and this one, I definitely would have kept that. I love the naked kind of versions, motorbiking as well, and I just think they're fun. There's a lot of fun to be had on them. You could really throw it around. Like I said, it was fun. But again, like if you have watched that video, you will have recollected me explaining that, you know, it was a great bike, but it wasn't, you know, the everything kind of bike. It's not going to be the Swiss Army bike, Swiss Army knife bike, sorry. What is, I don't know. I think I've got something a little bit closer to that at the moment now. I can do a bit more on this, and again, you probably remember me saying that with that bike it was a lot to me. You know, there was a lot I could do with it apart from, you know, being really comfortable on the motorway. Some people are really happy sat on a naked bike on a motorway. Me being a fairly newbie at the motorbiking world, I wasn't really happy sat on a naked bike on a motorway. There were one or two occasions come down the M4 where I felt really kind of like, you know, out of sorts on it, and I was getting blown all over the place. And like I said, that's probably a combination of me being inexperienced, and not uber confident on a naked bike on a motorway, and also the fact that I was just getting blown around all over the place, in all fairness. So this does have a little bit more wind protection. And I'll come on to my experiences with it in a moment. This isn't a tech spec kind of review. Like I said, there are other channels out there that go more into the tech specs. And I guess literally a simple AI kind of check on tech specs on any bike like will produce much better tech spec reviews than I can. What I will do is give my experiences of it. Will give my experiences of it. You know, I kind of related to those tech specs really. You know, the smaller tyres and the frame of the bike, the nature of the bike, what it is. So yeah, as you can see, we're on a glorious day, beautiful day in South Wales. I am going quite tentatively, as you can see. I'm not throwing this bike around at the moment today because I'm only on two wheels and it's quite frosty out there. It's frosty all over the UK at the moment. I have noticed a few patches of ice on this road, or these roads at the moment. So I ain't going to be an idiot. I'm just going to take it fairly easy. I've got my bike on rain mode at the moment, so that's helping a little bit. Cool, but we are going to go through the lanes, see some countryside. And so I better start talking about the bike then. Okay, so like I said, 2025 Triumph Tiger Sport 660. Why did I buy it? Like I said, I wanted something that was just a little bit more of everything I needed to do. I know that I want to go touring next year. I would have toured this year if we could, but I just didn't have the time, and jobs came up, etc., work came up. But I definitely know that I've got tours planned for next year. This is going to be much more comfortable for me to do those tours on. Let's extend that windscreen. That's one of the reasons that it's hooked up onto. It's more protected. It's faired. It's a touring setup. Triumphers have kind of marketed this and the 800 version as a bit of a tall rounder, they call it. Obviously an all-rounder. It's going to be ideal to tour on. Off-road, no, not really. I'm going to take it off-road, and I don't think anyone's going to buy this bike to take it off-road either. But it's going to do most things. So how does it feel? Well, it feels fairly light. It's a 660 version as opposed to the 800. Why did I go for 660? Well, budget again, really. I'm not one to go and put like massive amount on credit cards and things like that. I've fallen into those traps years ago, like most other people. And I just buy what I can afford these days. So I bought this. It was the maximum of what I wanted to spend on a bike. I part-taxed the Honda for it. Didn't get too bad a price for the Honda, but that bike was fairly new, so I did lose a little bit on it, but I took that into consideration anyway. So it was kind of perfect thing for me to step up to, from a 500 to a 660. Like I said, couldn't afford the 800 version. Had I been able to afford the 800 version, I definitely would have got that. But no, this is absolutely enough for me. So working from the the wheels up, let's say, sporty wheels. They're not off-road, so they're a smaller diameter. Again, look at the tax back. So I think they're 16 or 17 diameter. So yeah, more sporty version. It does allow you to throw around on a nice dry day. There's no frost or rain on the ground. You can throw this around, and I've had as much fun on this as I've had on the Hornet, to be honest. So yeah, it's really sporty setup to it. Flickable, definitely flickable. Feels lightweight when you're riding it. And people, I think you shouted at me then. And people coming down from 900s, 800s, or 1200s even will find this really lightweight compared to those. So yeah, nice and agile, and again, that's one of the things I want in a bike. I don't want a big lumbering beast. I don't want to feel like, I corner like a boat on it. Like I said, I might get to the point where I can ride a 1200. I feel really agile on it, but I don't at the moment. I feel still fairly agile in this, and that's exactly what I want from a bike. I want good fuel efficiency. So this is, I'm getting about 60 to the gallon on it. Much, a fair bit less than the Honda, but obviously that was a 500. Those Hornet engines are really fuel efficient as well. So I'm getting less miles to the gallon than the Honda, but it's still fuel efficient. It's taking about 22 quid to fill the tank. And it lasts forever, so it's great. Excuse me, I'll just navigate through that sun. Cool, okay. So yeah, narrow diameter wheels or smaller diameter wheels, allowing it to be a little bit more sporty in its approach and handling. The engine itself, 660, I find it absolutely perfect for me at the moment. 80 brake horsepower, or 81, I think it's officially marketed as. So yeah, that's enough for me. I had 49 on the Hornet, so I've doubled that, really, haven't I? So I have not found this wanting at all. I've taken it onto motorways now. I feel much more confident on this on a motorway than I did on the Hornet, and that's been the biggest difference for me, really. I feel like now that I could quite happily have this bike if I needed to for the next 10 years, no issue whatsoever. famous last words, aren't they, really, until you see that nice new sexy bike up in NEC tomorrow. So yeah, but I feel like I could tour on it, I could do everything I wanted on it. Yeah, I'd be happy with it for a long time. 80 brake horsepower is fast enough for me. Good, so that's that. You know, I'm passing trucks, you know, no problem at all. I'm passing vehicles. I can get on the outside lane if I need to and get out a little bit of trouble. Again, not as quick, not as fast as a 900, 1200. And those bikes pass me now and then, and you know, they're quite welcome to. I'm not bothered anymore by that. So that's absolutely fine. Handling itself, so handlebars bit narrower. Done a tour, like an adventure bike. So my mate's got the Tiger 900, and these handlebars are a little bit narrower. And that, again, like, you know, which lends itself nice to it being a bit more of a sporty setup. It is a Tiger, but it's, you know, it's a Tiger Sport, isn't it? So the narrow handlebars kind of lend themselves naturally to that. Stop there, thank you. Good, and also I can get around my gate, side access, so that's really good. The biggest thing, like I said, for me is this protection on the front here, this windscreen. In the down position, it offers just enough protection, but I do feel a bit of buffeting on my head and chest. In this up position here that I just adjusted it to, I do get more protection. I can still feel a little bit on the top of my head, but because you've got these cutouts here, I've also got a little bit of buffeting around my body when I ride and when I'm up on, like, you know, higher speeds on the motorway. So it's not like, cheers, it's not like it's fully protecting me. I do still feel it, but again, it is just buffeting as opposed to full-on wind blast like I was getting from the Hornet. So I'm more comfortable with that. Appreciate you can get, you know, better windscreens, which I might look into. You know, you can get the Givi or the Puke windscreens. So I might look into those when I do come to do the tours, because, you know, that might pay dividends when I do that. Oops. It's a beautiful day. Yeah, so I might change that windscreen out. The dash, bit of a bone of contention for some people, this dash. I'm not a massively techie geek, like, you know, and I'm not saying you've got to be a techie geek to like a good dash, but it doesn't really bother me what you've got there. It's kind of like a mixture between like LED or LCD and TFT, is it? You got a small TFT. Just trying to negotiate what's going on here. Cool. Okay, so you got your mixture of LED and mini TFT type thing. Yeah, it doesn't really bother me. It gives me all the information I need. Again, the Honda dash was better, just more informative, a little bit more intuitive to kind of like connect to, and, you know, with the directions and everything. So your phone does connect to this via the Triumph app. So, you know, that's still good. I haven't got it connected at the moment, but, you know, it'll still give you like turn-by-turn directions. But let's face it, most of us either use Google Maps on the phone or some kind of third-party navigation device, to be honest, which I probably plan to get. And I'll probably spend my money on that up in the NEC tomorrow. But yeah, you know, the dash doesn't really bother me. Also, if it gives me enough information, all I want to know really from that dash is what speed I'm going, miles per gallon-ish. You know, that doesn't really bother me either. But and just like how much fuel I've got left. You know, I'm kind of like really basic when it comes to things like that. So yeah, that doesn't bother me. However, those big 7-inch or 5-inch TFT screens look fantastic. So I do get why people want that. As a bike is standard, it doesn't come with the hand guards or anything. I've had those fitted. I've also had the floodlights fitted. I'll have a bit of walk around this bike in a moment, and I'll show you those. But I've had them. Did I say mud guards here? Hand guards. I had the hand guards fitted, which have proved to be a bit better in this weather. Like I said, floodlights, auxiliary lights as well. You can get heated grips. It doesn't come standard with the heated grips. However, you know, I wasn't one of those people, one of those guys that thought, right, I've got to get heated grips. But in this weather, I might rethink, you know, my mindset there, because my hands at the moment are absolutely Baltic. So now I get why people want heated grips. Up until now, the weather didn't really bother me, but this today, yeah, heated grips would be an absolute peach. So I understand that. Right, controls. So on the controls here on the left, you've got obviously the up, down, left, right arrows. To just scroll through your dash. You can probably see if you're looking at the camera there what's going on there. Ooh, nice smell of silage. So yeah, control the dash with that. You can select your rider modes. Okay, you got your rider mode button down here. So at the moment on the modes with this are sport, road and rain. Got on rain today, like I said. I've been a bit of a, like, you know, cautious Ted today, but I have seen a few passers by, so I don't want to be horizontal at any point really, to be honest. Fancy staying on the bike as opposed to off it. And then you've got obviously your mode. You select, as soon as you press your mode and change over, you confirm it by pressing a tick here, close the throttle, and that's your mode selected. Happy days. I've tried all the different modes at the moment. I mainly stayed in road mode on good conditions. You know, road mode is enough. But I have switched it. Excuse me. I have switched it to sport mode now and then, and it absolutely works. A treat. Some people say they don't notice any difference with it, but I really do notice the difference between road mode and sport mode. When you get the sport mode, it's really, really responsive. I find the throttle much more responsive in sport mode. So there's definitely that. So you will have fun on this bike. You know, there's definitely fun to be had on this bike. Even though they're touting it as a tour rounder. As soon as you pop in that sport mode, you can definitely do some. You can have some fun with it. So, I'm going to pull over at some point to have a look around the bike as well. I've got, probably see that I've got a tank bag, and I've got a back, a rear box on it as well. Top box, rear box, top box. I'm actually off to Triumph now in about 2 hours, hour and a half should I say, to get the panniers fitted. And the reason I want to do that today is because I'm going to NEC tomorrow, the MCL. And before I spend my money, I thought I'd better get those panniers fitted. Because guaranteed if I see something up there, I'm going to want to spend money on it instead. So I need those panniers for touring, so I'm going to get them on. But when I have a walk around with the bike, I'll just make sure we take the box off and the bag, just give you an idea what it looks like in all its kind of naked sexiness. So yeah, controls wise, with the auxiliary lights they fitted this extra light here. Not the best looking thing in all fairness. I don't know why, it looks like a Fisher Price toy. I'm sure Triumph could do better than that, but it is what it is. It's pretty obvious though. I need to know what to press, I guess. So yeah, they're on now. Okay, I'm going to find a spot to pull over. We're going to have a little walk and talk around the bike. I'm not going to go into tech specs like I said, but I'll just have a little walk around it, or might even try and get the drone out if I've got the space to do that. So you can have a kind of like an idea of what someone looks like while they're sat on this bike, and appreciate how tall someone needs to be to ride this bike. I thought, you know, a bike like this would be too tall for me actually, but it's not too bad at all. I've got my feet down, both feet, balls of my feet, and it's fairly good. So I'm only about 5'8", 5'8.5", 5'9" on a good day. I got a pair of boots on now that allow me to be a little bit taller. Right, let's turn off here. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to find somewhere to pull over, and then we're going to go on to the next bit really. Okay, see you in 2. Okay, so we've had a look at the drone shot there, just to have a look at what someone looks like on the bike. Like I said, I'm about 5'8". I can touch ground, no problem at all. Well, I wouldn't say no problem at all, but my balls of the feet are on the ground. It's not like I'm flat-footed. But yeah, you know, if a bike, I suppose a tourer, has got to be a bit taller than the average. It's not going to be as short as you know, a naked. Yeah, I enjoyed that on the Honda, but I appreciate bikes have got to be different setup, and a little bit taller on occasion. So yeah, you can see there. You can see the 660 Tiger Sport 660. Like I said, 2025 version. It's a little bit dirty at the moment because I've been taking it through these lanes. Quite muddy at the moment with the weather, etc. I took the box, the top box off, and the tank bag, so you could have a look at the drone shot. And yeah, so there you can see it with the tank bag and the box. Like I said, literally in about 50 minutes time, I'm going to drop it down to get the side panniers fitted as well. So I'm hoping then that's just going to be my kind of touring setup really. I've got the auxiliary lights on the front there, and obviously with your riding lights, that should make me very visible. Probably doesn't make that much of a difference to you on this video, but in the night time, they really light the way low level. They really kind of come into their own in the evening, in the darker hours. So I really enjoyed having them on, to be honest. And you know, another thing, in the daytime, anything that gives you a little bit more visibility has got to be a good thing, right? So you know, they weren't cheap to have extra, but they're not going to be. But what price can you put on safety? Good. So yeah, windscreen, like I said, it's got its limitations, got its uses, you know, and that's the biggest thing for me. But it's got its limitations, that windscreen. I think I might change it for a touring windscreen when I do go touring. Handguards, like I mentioned, worth having for me. I will get heated grips, I think, at some point when I can afford them. Yeah, and so as you can see, there's the 80 brake horsepower engine, all nice and neat. Come around to the rear. Yeah, now obviously you've got the quick shifter. I'll talk about a little bit more about the quick shifter as I'm riding, but I think I mentioned one of you know, the aspects of the quick shifter on one of the reviews when I took the Tiger out for a test ride actually. I find it quite useful. Never thought it'd make that much of a difference. And plus the cruise control, it does make a bit of a difference. I have used it shifting down, you know, coming to junctions, roundabouts, etc. and then coming out on the other side as well, to be honest, coming back up through 3, 4, 5, 6 into 6, and then it kind of comes into its own. Never thought I'd use it as much as I do use it, but I definitely do. I tend not to use it so much on you know, first to second, still using a gear lever, but yeah, it does come into its own. Right, I'm going to get back on the road again because I need to start heading towards my pannier fitting now. So I'll rejoin you in a moment. We'll just talk about other bits and pieces. Okay, bye for now. Okay, yeah, so like I said, that quick shifter, it does have its uses, and again, a lot of people out there will have had those for years. I've never had one obviously before. Whoop, crikey Moses, where am I going? Spot a deliberate mistake. So yeah, you'll have had a quick shifter before maybe, and you kind of expect it on a bike now, but I never have, and I have found it useful. Like I said, first, second, third, I'm not using it. Now I start using it fourth, fifth, sixth, and it does come into its own. It's nice. It's getting much smoother now. The more I use it, the smoother it's getting. I've only put about a couple of, about 1,200 miles in it so far anyway, so not expect anything to be working smooth just yet. But yeah, it's a good addition to it. That then coupled with the cruise control, like is standard now on these bikes, on the Tigers Sports, makes for a kind of like, you know, a good kind of, you know, all-round touring machine. Cruise control compared to others is fairly standard from what I can gather. Excuse me, I'll just try and demonstrate that. I'm in 6th. Let's say I'm happy with the speed I'm going. I press the button once on top, orange light comes on the dash there, I press it again, and we're onto a green light, which means I'm hands-free cruising. If I want to take it off, I can just push the throttle forward. I can brake. Basically any interference, any intervention that you make with the bike, it's going to cancel that cruise control. So it's, you know, I've never had cruise control either, so that addition to a bike to me is fantastic. Some of you will find it really kind of rudimentary and quite a basic cruise control. Horses for courses, I found it really useful, so I'm happy with it. So yeah, quick shifter, cruise control, you know, the protection, you know, adequate, not great, but adequate protection. For me now, makes me think, right, I've got a good touring machine, I've got a bike now that's, you know, again, I could make me last about 10 years if I wanted to, or even longer, but, you know, we are bikers at the end of the day, so we look at other bikes and we start to swoon over them, don't we? So will I get another bike at some point? I don't know. For some reason, I've always fancied a Honda, either Trans Alp or an Africa Twin. I've got designs on one of those one day maybe. I'm not going to tell my wife that, but yeah, I do. Now we can open up a little bit. See, it's just, there's enough to this bike, honestly. Yes, you know, if you've got an 800 or 900, you're going to potentially leave me behind, but there's enough for me on this bike. It's a lot of fun. So that's kind of almost it for me, really. You know, I never thought I'd come off the Honda Hornet so soon. You know, I only had it for about 2 months, but as soon as I realised I do need a touring machine, I kind of like had my mindset on it, and then my mind was made up. And when I saw the 660 in a shop, in all the kind of like glory, in the flesh, I was kind of sold on it, and then, you know, not straight away though, you know, it's always nice to look at the reviews, so I did look at the reviews. So, you know, the other good reviewers out there reviewing this bike. So I always take that into consideration, to be honest, the reviews, and I think they are useful. Again, you got to take everything with a pinch of salt, like you should take this with a pinch of salt, really. We're just, you know, it's just opinion, isn't it? You know, there's no real truth in it, it's just one person's opinion. So you got to go out there and test the bike yourself, really, and make your own mind up if you can. But I suppose what leads you to a review is the fact you're interested in the bike in the first place. And that's why my algorithm's full of Triumph, Triumph Tiger, Honda Trans Am, Honda Africa Twin bike reviews, I guess. So there you have it. I think it's a fantastic bike. You won't be disappointed about it whatsoever. If you do get out and test ride one, you'll probably be surprised how much you do like it. Regardless of what bike you're coming from, or to, or on, or used to, I think you will be surprised by it. It is really sporty. I'm only in Rain Road at the minute, but pull a throttle back and, you know, you feel like you can definitely have fun on it. I've had fun on it now in some rides, and it is fantastic. So I'm going to love you and leave you, because like I said, I'm on my way to have my pannier fitting, and let's just have a little bit more of a ride before I do that. So hope you've enjoyed the video. There's probably things that I've missed, because I'm not a pro and I don't carry around a list that I'd like to talk, so I just kind of like freelance it really and wing it. But if you want me to chat about stuff, or, you know, if you want to drop something in a comment to get an answer about something, I've probably got an opinion of it, being the bike that I've got. So yeah, I'll just reply if I can. And what was it, a little Triumph behind me. So yeah, drop a like if you can, and subscribe if you'd like to, while I carry on riding. And until next time, stay safe riding. If you can get out on a day like today, get out there and have a ride, stay safe. Okay, bye for now. See you next one. Bye.